Hi, folks. Oh my God, I need to fix my lighting again. Looks like I'm in some weird orb thing, so bear with me a second. I don't like doing this, but I have to turn on my big spotlight because I don't like bright lights. I get headaches from them, but hey ho. This is my sign that I should record in the day. But anyway, here we go. You have some mystical geometric things going on here. So anyway, there we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm here for your new moon forecast, and there's so much going on at the minute, right? Just to let you know, if you're interested in knowing more about the astrological events of the year, me and my beautiful friend and fellow astrologer are going to be talking about these on the 30th of January. So do join us live. The link is below in my description. You can save the link and join us here at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. So we'll be walking you through the astrology in ways that you can understand practically, because I know it's quite complex, and so that you can harness those energies in your own life, your own creative expression and your own expansion, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. At least that's why I'm in this world of astrology. So there is so much going on at the moment. Um, Mars is still in retrograde, and we have the new moon in Aquarius happening on the 29th of January at 12:35 p.m. GMT time. And that's happening at 9 degrees and 50 minutes of Aquarius. So don't worry about degrees. I just always say that if you are aware of the degrees in your chart, if you have lots of planets around those degrees in any of the fixed signs, a few degrees from 9 degrees, then this new moon will impact you. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about that part, because new moons for all of us collectively or a time is a new beginning, a new energy. And happy birthday to fellow Aquarians. Aquarians, oh my gosh, I love Aquarians. They are so almost rebellious, and that's why I put Sacred Rebellion in the title, because I feel like this new moon is really about, like, what are we so protective of? What do we rebel? And when I say rebel, like, what are the narratives that we're not willing to put up with in our own mind, in the collective? And this Aquarius energy will really help you to carve a new path for yourself. So if there are like lots of old stories or narratives that are playing out in your mind, just know that this new moon, you can really tap into it to help you align with the new story that you want to tell. I know that my mind's been really active in the last couple of days. I know I'm luteal phase, so my inner critic goes like crazy, but it's also this air energy. So if you're feeling a little bit in your head, just make sure to ground. I know I'm actually have had fighting off a bit of a headache for the last couple of days, which I have done lots of self-care and time off screens. It's still there. So if you're feeling a little bit heady, just make sure to ground, go into nature. That really is helpful. But this Sacred Rebellion, like, Aquarius is a vessel. A lot of people think it's a water energy. It's actually air, but it's like a vessel and it's pouring out water. So I always think of the vessel is in our body. Our body is a vessel. What are we channeling? What are we creating through our vessel? What are we expressing through our vessel? And many of you here will be creatives, will be in that world, maybe empathic as well. Like, probably you're intuitively guided. Probably your heart, your soul is leading the way. So what is it you want to create in the world? What is it you want to bear through that sacred cup that you hold? Because it's your unique essence. And this is where Aquarius reminds us to connect in with, what is it that makes me unique? Yes, so and so over there is doing that. And it's so easy to get into comparisons. I know I still fall into it, and I have to remind myself, no, I'm on my own timeline and somebody else is on their timeline. So if you are getting into comparisons, it's not helpful, right? Come back to your path, come back to you are on your own journey and you're exactly where you need to be. Um, you know, and even the challenges and the problems are teaching you something right now that you need to know to align with that divine destiny. And Aquarius energy is all about freedom. So creating freedom. So this is a really good time as well to just, connect in with what does freedom look and feel like to you? Because that's quite a big theme, freedom, right? You might say, okay, I want to have enough money so I can travel wherever I want and live in different places. That used to be my vision of freedom. And partly it's shifted. But what does that look like on an everyday level? Okay, so if money was not an option, if money was not an obstacle, what would you be doing? What is your like most delicious, most alive life? What does that look like to you? And just have fun with this. Like, this is a really fun thing to journal on. Like, what are you doing? And you could have like a few ideal days. Some days it might be you're seeing clients, some days you might be perusing an art gallery, at least that is for me. So we want to know what freedom feels like, what it looks like for us in our life, so we can actually then align with that freedom that we're choosing. Um, and this new moon is in a trine to Jupiter. So Jupiter's in Gemini, which is all about like teaching and learning. So, really following our curiosity at this time is going to help you massively. I always talk about following your curiosity because to me, curiosity is playfulness, it's following the breadcrumbs. And once you start following one breadcrumb, then the next breadcrumb comes, and then the next. And I always relate this to creativity because to be creative, whatever you are creating, you're creating an offer in your business or a painting, so many ways to be innovative. We need to follow the thing that lights us up, right? So, really leaning into your curiosity and go, okay, what am I curious about? Okay, I'm going to give myself half an hour to be curious, explore that thing. If it's a thing I read in a book about a Greek myth, I'm going to go read about that Greek myth. Whatever it is, go follow your curiosity. Like my curiosity led me to study astrology. I found my teacher and then I started studying Glastonbury literally 4 days later. It was crazy. And being curious about herbs, I'm now doing a herb course that's a year. Really just for me at the moment for fun, but I've followed that breadcrumb of curiosity. You just don't know where it's going to lead into more magical things in your life. Um, so yeah, although we've got this fixed energy, Aquarius is the air realm. Like I said, your mind might feel overactive at the moment. Cacao is also really helpful if you've got an overactive mind. And I talk a lot about cacao because I just think it's amazing for calming the mind, calming the body, um, and calming the nervous system. So be aware of your thoughts. And if you notice those same patterns, those same like old patterns creeping in, maybe around scarcity or fear, whatever it is you're working with, note them down and really try and catch them when they appear. And that can feel really tricky at first, but the more we become self aware of those same patterns, the easier it is to go, I see you, and start shifting it into what do you want to focus on instead, right? This is subtle, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I massively fall off the bandwagon with this. Um, but your thoughts are powerful. And Aquarium, being the air sign, is reminding us how are we creating in our minds? What are we visioning? What are we thinking about? Because actually, the universe doesn't know the difference between your imagination and what is real, right? there's always a fun game that I play is like, how open to receiving or how open to synchronicities are you? Play it. It is so much fun. So pick something you're not resistant to, right? We're not going to go in there with $1 million because most people have resistance about that. It could be I'm going to see a pink mini, or I'm going to see a bulldog, or something random, and just see how quickly you see that thing. And when I say see that thing, you might not see a real pink car. You could do. You might see it on a poster, you might see it on an advert. So keep your eyes peeled, and it's a really good way to see how open you are, because we're saying we're not attached to the outcome. You've surrendered it, and you're going to let the universe deliver that in like probably a really fun and playful way, because the universe loves to play. So have fun with that. Let me know how you get on. Um, and we've also, I started talking about, we've got Mars is still retrograde until it goes direct on the 23rd of February. So I mentioned this in the last video. Mars retrograde may have slowed down our kind of like our motivation levels, our energy and our drive. And of course, it's still winter. So if you're in hibernation mode, it's okay. Not everything has to go at a million miles an hour. So that Mars retrograde is really teaching us, okay, how am I using my energy? How can I be more intentional with my energy? You know, what is it I really want? What is it I want to channel that motivation and determination into when it arises? Because we all have moments where we're not determined. Let's just be real about that. I really sometimes struggle with my motivation, particularly in the luteal phase of my cycle towards the end. And I sometimes have to really push past that resistance. So just know that the Mars is going to go direct on the 23rd of February. But if you're having to question a lot of things, like what is it you truly desire? Because that Mars energy is about that hunger, that desire, that assertive quality in us. You know, what is it that you are courageous about, that lights you up so much, that gets you up in the morning? That is Mars energy. So Mars is in a trine to Neptune at this new moon, which is a lovely energy, because Neptune can be very dreamy and we can get stuck in delusions. Whereas with that Mars trine, it's like, okay, you are imagining this for yourself. This is the vision that you want to create. Okay, now let's take an action towards that. So we've been in the dreamy vibes of Pisces, which we need, but we also need to take those actions. It is so important. And interesting as well, because Mars is actually in a trine to Venus at this time. So there is a slight, it's harmonious, but it's like, okay, I really strongly desire this. This is my fiery energy, wants to be channeled here. And my Venus is like, oh, okay, how can I love? How can I love on myself, that goddess part of me, that feminine part of me? So this is bringing the feminine masculine into balance, which we need. And I always think a lot about this in my life. Okay, am I too much in my feminine or too much in my masculine? How can I find that center place again? Um, so yeah, there's fixed energy at this new moon, which is stabilizing, but there's also a lot of mutable, which is the adaptable, free flowing energy. So it's like we need a container to be creative. Think of, I know creators struggle with this. Think of the word container instead of structure if you don't like that word. You're creating containers in your life, whether that's a habit or routine, to allow your creativity to flow. Okay, so we need that container for the creativity to flow freely and be wild and raw. So think of it like that. Um, and we've also got Saturn in a trine to Mars. So there's a lot of Mars aspects at this new moon. So although it's retrograde here, that is like, hey, what boundaries are you committed to? Right? Because I know boundaries can be difficult when you're empathic. You want to please everyone and you're into that people pleasing. I know I'm still a people pleasing recovery in people pleasing. And putting those boundaries is so important for our energy levels. So have a feel into that. What are the boundaries that are going to support me going forwards? For example, I have an alarm. So like I put my phone in airplane mode at 9 so I don't look at the screen. I must say sometimes I fall out of that. But I'm quite strict about that. So I don't look at the screen before bed, and I normally go to bed by 10. So it's time to unwind, time to be without the blue light so I sleep better. Things like that make a massive difference to how you feel. And also I've noticed, like, what is the last thing you do at night? That affects your mood, that affects your mental state. We're in that mental realm, this new moon. What are the things that can help you have a more positive mindset? What are the tools that you can use when you feel those junky old patterns coming up? Because they will come up, right? As we move into another level, we still have to face those old patterns. So yeah, questioning, stepping into that visionary part of you and going, what do I want to create? Okay, and have fun with this. Have fun with the universe. The universe loves to play. That's why I say play that game and see how open you are. See how quickly you can see that pink car or whatever it is. So yeah, what is your sacred rebellion? What are you rebellious against? And what are the actions you're taking? How are you stepping into that, embodying that energy in your life? Um, and there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm running the Artist Way with a beautiful friend, which is starting at the beginning of Feb. So the details are in the link below. This is an incredible process for creative recovery. And to awaken your creative juices. So yeah, I have quite a few things going on at the moment. So most of them are below in the details, but do reach out if you have any questions or if you want to delve deeper into your astrology chart. My books for astrology readings are open as well. And I wish you a beautiful new moon with new beginnings, wherever that new moon is hitting your chart. And oh, that's my phone alarm going off. And yeah, blessings, my love. Bye for now.